Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope you can hear me well. Thank you for joining today's workshop. I see that most of the registered participants are already with us, so let us begin. I am Elena Jabri, a research assistant at EPRC, and I will be hosting today's workshop. The aim of the workshop is to foster dialogue among commit partners, addressing specific challenges that you face in your work and projects. So I warmly invite you today to join the discussion and share your experiences so we can all learn from each other. The topic of today's workshop is the ambitious Just Transition Fund. We would start with a short presentation I have prepared on Just Transition Fund and strategies, which will be followed by a sharing of experiences from our commit partners from the Netherlands, Bulgaria, Western Macedonia, and Slovenia. And then we will open the floor for questions and your contributions. So we encourage active participation. So please use the Zoom raising hand feature or the chat to share your comments and questions. On that note, I will start my opening presentation. So as I already mentioned, the purpose of this workshop is to give you an opportunity to exchange experience regarding the state of play with the Just Transition strategies in your respective countries and regions. But before we hear from you specific issues, I thought it would be useful to start with a very quick general overview. In my presentation, I will briefly touch upon the current context before I will move on to focus specifically on the Just Transition strategies. Slides, please. I would start by providing a brief overview, as I said, at the state of play at the EU level, before we hear from a few partners, countries and regions regarding their situation concerning the GTF. And after the presentations, we will have some time for discussion and go through some specific questions you may have on the GTF strategies. The Just Transition mechanism was set up as part of the European Green Deal as a key tool to ensure that the transition towards a climate neutral economy happens in a fair way, leaving no one behind. And here, quickly, an image that you have possibly seen before regarding the three-pillar structure of the GTM. And again, very familiar information to you all, I'm sure, but just to repeat briefly that the Just Transition Fund is the first pillar of the GTM and is a funding tool for the regions which are highly dependent on fossil fuels and high emissions industries. And funding-wise, it is quite a substantial pot of funding. EU contribution is about 19.3 billion euros. Then adding to the national co-financing, we are looking at figures of 25.4 billion euros. Next slide, please. And moving on to the Territorial Just Transition Plans, you are all, of course, very familiar with that the Territorial Just Transition Plans were needed in order to access any funding. And the plans so cover the period of up to 2030 and identify the territories which will get support, and also set out ways how to best address the social, economic, and environmental challenges. Another important aspect included in the plans is the commitment to open and inclusive processes. And here on the slide, the green areas indicated in the map are the GTF territories included in the approved Territorial Just Transition Plans. And since last December, so December 2023, Bulgaria has been granted 1.2 billion euros from the GTF, following the European Commission's approval of its Territorial Just Transition Plans. And this approval marks the completion of the GTF's programming phase in the EU. So all the plans have been now approved. So next slide, please. And as the implementation of the GTF progresses, some programs are facing challenges. According to some research EPRC has made within its IJmond network, one of the main concerns about the GTF is a timetable of spending. The implementation of the GTF is expected to be challenging and is challenging for several countries. It is a new fund and it has a tight timetable. And another challenges are the amendments of programs and administrative capacity issues. And next slide, please. Now there is help available. There is a technical assistance that is available to the member states through the program itself. Then there are additional instruments at the EU level to help with project preparation or with administrative capacity building. For example, technical support instrument, GT peers exchange, or the events of the Just Transition platform. And last slide, please. Thank you. Another significant development for the program is the Strategic Technologies for Europe platform, or STEP. So 5.9 billion euros has been disbursed in pre-financing under Just Transition Fund due to the entry into force of STEP on 1st March, so last March. And STEP aims to boost investments in critical technologies and has already started to influence the GTF's focus, particularly in strengthening support to strategic sectors. So STEPS helps with funding by providing pre-financing and allowing flexibility in program reprogramming. It can also offer a higher co-financing rate and make it easier for large companies to get funding. And this helps programs like the GTF to meet spending targets and access new funding opportunities. So as I said, my presentation would be really a quick overview. Now I will leave the floor to the partners' presentation, starting maybe with Vera from the Netherlands.
Yes, that's all right. Hello, well, I'm Vera van Vuren, and I am the assistant point for Just Transition Fund in the IJmond. And next slide, please. I work with an environmental service in the IJmond that is a part of the local government, and our service is aimed to environmental management and nature conservation and law enforcement. Well, we are very close to Amsterdam, but at the coast and in an industrial area. And what I show you, we work for municipalities, and municipalities work together also with schools. And these are children who are doing activities about climate change. And next slide, please. So I said we work for the local government, and that is 5 municipalities and the province of North Holland. And the program is, of course, from the Just Transition Fund program is founded next to the European Commission, also by the Dutch ministries. Next program, next slide, please. We work together with the city of Rotterdam, Opportunities for West. They are a partner of the commit, and we work with them and also in their assignment. And what counts for West is the management authority for the Just Transition Fund, the intermediate body. Next, please. The Council for West has 2 programs, 2 ETF programs. Next to the IJmond is the Rotterdam area. And in comparison, we are a much smaller area. As you look at the enterprises, but we do have a big amount of CO2 exposure. And the next, please. So we are 5 municipalities, in total 200 inhabitants who live in our area. There are Tata Steel, that's the steel mill, has a lot of jobs, 9 jobs directly who work at the mill, and 30,000 indirect jobs. That's not only in our region, but also in the further region where the people live. There's 8% of the national emissions of CO2 are coming from Tata Steel. So it's a big enterprise. And that gives also a lot of pressure on the environment with health issues. There is more chance of people who live here in this area that they get, for example, lung cancer. So it's the license to operate for this industry is discussed, and there are more reasons than CO2 to change the way of producing of the steel mill and all the surrounding enterprises. Because we are located at the coast, we have a strategic geographic position, and well, of course, the labor market, it's not so maybe not an opportunity, but more it's a difficulty. And we have a need of more young people who are choosing for technical education, and there is all more, but we need more than we have now. And also around it, there is a well-developed manufacturing and maintenance industry. Next, please. So, like the other GTF programs, we want to strengthen and diversify the regional economy. We want to change in new energy systems for the technology and also the infrastructure. So it's about well, renewable energy, but also hydrogen, what we need. And very important, we want to invest in flexible and resilient labor force. Next, please. If you look at the amount of money we get, almost 60 million of European Commission for GTF. The most part is dedicated to infrastructure, a quarter to regional economy, and a quarter to the labor market. And well, we are now for more than a year in progress. We started last January 2023. We opened the budget, and in this more than a year, almost 1.5 years, there are 52 projects who apply for subsidy. 30 projects already approved by the external committee, and almost 3/4 of the budget is already committed. Next, please. The aim of the program objectives are that we support 170 entrepreneurs, that we get also private investment, 30 million to develop in our projects, and that more than 5,500 people are reskilled, trained, and helped into work. So that has a big focus in our program, and that what I say, that we attract and also retain people in the technology jobs. Next, please. This is the amount of money we already opened. The whole budget, it's open to apply, and budget for the track 1, 2, and 3. That is what I see together. We said we make it people. Initiatives can apply for a subsidy, but it's best if they are integrated. And it's if they apply for strengthening the regional economy or in the infrastructural part, that they do also have a part of their projects dedicated to the labor market and schooling. So in that track, well, most of the budget is open for, and next to that we have a separate scheme for investment. and a little 500,000 is dedicated to training vouchers. Well, all the projects has a co-finance of 50% at least, and we do have make it possible that there will be big subsidies, big grants for 4 million per project, and there is no minimum subsidy, so people can also for 50,000 euro, but in the what we see in practice, it's always bigger than 200,000, 300,000, what people ask. And well, first come, first serve. Next, please. This is what already is submitted, and what you see is that of the whole amount is 62 of the project is of the budget goes to economy, so goes to regional economy or the investment, and almost 40% is going to the labor market. And we do add for our region, and that projects who are good for the health of the environment of the people who live next to it are also allowed. Next, please. I give you some examples of projects who are good for skills. So we have a project that's called the Energy Hub, and we had a lot of problems with the energy infrastructure. Oh, I get in trouble talking. But we do also want to educate people in this. So these are some examples in a very nice project. We all aim or educating people, new students, but also people who work in that branches, in those industries. And we also have a project dedicated to get more women in techniques. So I think this is the last, and it's good for me because I have I can't speak hardly anymore. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Vera. Thank you. We might perhaps go directly to the presentation of our Bulgarian partners, and maybe we can ask questions at the end, unless there are immediate reaction to Vera's presentation. But otherwise, I will give the floor to Vasil.
Hello, just a second.
Sure.
I will present by myself.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Vasil Demirev, project coordinator at the Regional Economic Development Agency, which is a member of the subcommittee for equitable transition in Stara Zagora region of the monitoring committee of the development of regions 2021-2027 program. And I will present you the main points of the Territorial Just Transition Plan for Bulgaria, and more precisely for the Stara Zagora region. Stara Zagora district is identified as the most affected by the transition, as the 4 coal-fired power plants and mines are located on the territory of the district. In terms of potentially affected jobs, Stara Zagora district also emerges as the most affected. Stara Zagora's leading position is due to the Maritsa East energy complex, which shows the structural role of the coal industry in the district economy. The closure of the complex affects a larger territory beyond the boundaries of the specific municipalities in which they are located. Labor donor communities or commuters should also be considered among those who will suffer the socio-economic consequences of the transition. The initiatives in the Transition Action Plan are under three pillars that reflect the challenges and needs for creating quality and sustainable employment in Stara Zagora district. Pillar 1, Industry for Sustainable Energy Solutions. Point 1, reclamation of lignite quarries. Point 2, scheme to support the creation of hydrogen-based value chains. Point 3, support for establishment of clean technology, zero emission industrial parks. Point 4, support scheme for photovoltaic parks and energy storage systems. Point 5, scheme to support the use of green hydrogen. Point 6, support for the production, distribution, and distribution of biomethane energy production from plant biomass and energy production from wind turbines. Pillar 2, social and employment support. Point 1, skills mapping of the affected workforce. Point 2, uh, retraining and upskilling. Point 3, energy efficiency and renewable energy measures with a focus on fuel poverty. Point 4, support scheme for producer consumers and energy communities. And maybe the most important, pillar 3, diversification of the local economy. Point 1, diversification and adoption of enterprises to the economic transition. Target support for local enterprises to adapt to their need and level of development. The focus is on ensuring that companies can adapt and integrate into the value chain of the new economic activities mentioned above. The aim is to therefore to support employment in the region which is indirectly affected by the transition. The focus will be on the sectors identified, identified as priorities for the region, such as mechatronics, chemicals, agriculture, industrial ICT solutions, electrical component manufacturing, and clean energy. Last but not least, the measure will also enable smart and sustainable local mobility. And point 2, research and innovation support for enterprises. The measure will support research and development activities in SMEs related to their production specialization in terms of circular climate neutral icon. I will introduce you the regional development program of the Ministry of Regional Development, in particular the indicative annual work program for 2024. You can see the numbers by yourself. Support and sustainable energy, renovation of multifamily residential buildings, support for workers in affected sectors to training for qualification and retraining, skills mapping of indirectly affected person in the most affected by the climate transition, diversification and adoption to SMEs to the economic transition, support for industrial and logistic parks and zones, and finally, support for productive investments in large enterprises in the region Stara Zagora. Governance and funding mechanisms. The estimated investment amounts to 936 million euro. By the Governance and Energy Transition Commission will be established to monitor the implementation of the plan and coordinate activities at the national and regional level. And by the funding will be provided by various European funds and national programs. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vasil. Thank you for your presentation. If there is no immediate reaction to Vasil's presentation, I will then give the floor to our colleagues from Western Macedonia, Constantina.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Let me share my screen. So I'm Konstantina Nicolaidou. I'm an associate researcher and PhD candidate at the University of Western Macedonia in Greece. Today I'm going to present you the just transition profile of our region. So our region is considered to be the energy heart of Greece. Since approximately 70% of the country's electricity is produced here, the first systematic research is for the identification and exploitation of lignite in the region, and especially around the city of Ptolemaida began in 1938. And in the 1950s, the first company was established with the aim of exploiting lignite and using it for the production of briquettes, fertilizers, but mainly for the production of electricity. Since then, we now have a plan of closing all the power plants that are operating with lignite by 2028.
So we are just interrupting the slide.
Really?
Excuse us, Constantina, we don't see the slide. We are still seeing the first one.
Okay. Share it again.
Thank you.
Can you see it now?
Absolutely. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So the region's profile. The region of Western Macedonia is a region of 9.5 square kilometers of landlocked region. However, we have many lakes and rivers, so we still attract tourists here, even though we don't have direct access to the sea. And however, we're facing a steady decline in our population over the last about 2 decades, especially of young people. That's either because of internal and external migration. We are suffering from brain drain, and due to low birth rates also. The latest.
Чакам да дојде смесителя. Тој ќе ме се обади.
I think you should close your.
I'm going to close the mic. Sorry.
Okay.
Добре.
So the latest population census in 2021 showed a 10% decrease. In addition, we are facing very high unemployment rates, particularly long-term unemployment. And also we are facing a decrease in our income. We're situated in the northern part of Greece. So what are our main advantages? Our main advantages are workforce with high technical experience in energy sector, but also in agricultural and manufacturing. We have a strong solar potential that favors the high efficiency of photovoltaic parks. Also have varied geographical terrain, including 2 national parks and 16 Natura areas, as well as minor wealth. We have tradition in the production of agricultural products. One of the most known is saffron from Kozani. We have proximity to Balkan countries, especially Western Balkan. And we have, of course, a strong university, which is present in all 4 prefectures of the region. So let me tell you a short story about the just transition in our region. In 2017, our region was selected as one of the pilot regions of the EU Core Regions in Transition Initiative. In 2018, Greece became the first country in the European Union to take advantage of the possibility to offer a part of the public revenue from the emissions to support the local economies of the lignite regions during our transition to the post-lignite era. In 2019, our government announced the lignite phase out by 2028 and endorsed the National Energy and Climate Plan for 2030 and the long-term strategy for 2050. In 2020, the World Bank delivered a roadmap for a managed transition of coal-dependent regions, and in the same year, the Greek government, along with the steering committee, delivered the Just Development Transition Plan, as we call it, the master plan. On June 16th in 2022, the Just Transition Plan of Greece, and along with its territorial plans, was approved by the European Commission. So let me tell you some things about the lignite phase out in Greece. The schedule is according to the National Energy and Climate Plan and the Climate Neutrality Strategy by 2050. As you can see on the diagram, yes, the Amidio power plant and the power plants in Kardia closed in 2021, but Agios Dimitrios and Meliti were scheduled to close in 2022 and 2023. But due to the war in Ukraine and for reasons of energy efficiency and the prices of gas going up, the operation of the power plants was extended until December 2025. The new power plant of Ptolemaida Pende is using lignite, but will be converted to natural gas by 2028 and will be the only one that will be still operating. In this slide, you can see on the left the development of the power generation mix according to our National Energy and Climate Plan. And on the right side, you can see how the electricity mix is evolving. We can see that lignite is declining. We can see a huge decline in the years 2028 and 2019 when the announcement of the government was made. We can see that natural gas is steadily in the system. So the Just Transition Development Plan of Greece that was approved on 2028, the vision of the plan is to promote sustainable development by exploiting the competitive advantages of its region, aiming at the well-being and improvement of citizens' life. It's based upon 5 key pillars: energy, clean energy, industry and trade, smart agricultural production, sustainable tourism. As I said, we can still have tourism in Western Macedonia, although we don't have sea, and technology and education. So the Just Transition Development Plan comes with its territorial plans. It includes 3 territorial plans. The major one is ours, Western Macedonia. It gets 63% of the budget is allocated for our region, since it's the region that produces the majority of the electricity. So 1.026 billion euros are coming to Western Macedonia. They are allocated in 6 axes. The majority of the budget, 51%, is going to priority 1, which is about strengthening and promoting entrepreneurship. The other axis is energy transition and climate neutrality, land use adjustment, circular economy, just labor transition, which is also taking a huge amount of the budget, integrated small-scale interventions, and finally, technical assistance. And here we have to mention that the region of Western Macedonia will still be an energy region producing electricity, but this time it will be it's transforming into a clean energy hub. So the next section is about access to knowledge. First of all, I would like to introduce you to the Institute of Energy Development and Transition to Post-Lignite Era. The members of this institute reflect the interdisciplinary nature of the institute. The scientific director is Mr. Lefteris Topaloglou, who is an associate professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering. Mr. Panaras and Mrs. Sotiropoulou are associate professors in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Mr. Ploskas is in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. And lastly, but not least, we have Mr. Giannakopoulos, who is a senior researcher in the Center for Research and Technologies. What are the Institute's missions? The Institute's missions are, first of all, research in energy development and just transition policies, knowledge sharing mainly through dissemination of research findings, publications, and technological breakthroughs, local and global impacts by addressing the specific local needs, while also contributing to broader global efforts, academic growth and skill enhancement through new scholars in green economy, climate change, and energy transition, consultation and assistance by providing scientific guidance and advisory services to organizations in Western Macedonia, Greece, but also internationally. Collaboration and networking by cultivating partnerships with key research entities in Greece, but also internationally. An open and dynamic repository of data that will include publications, reports, and studies, and will serve as a valuable resource for researchers and policymakers. Tech transfer and creative advancement, progress in economic and environmental fields, especially focusing in innovation and excellence. And we have synergy among education, research, and business innovation, establishing partnerships, of course. And lastly, support for national and just transition plans. Apart from the Institute, another important body of knowledge here in our university is ENTRA Lab, which stands for Energy Transition and Development Transformation Laboratory. It's established in the Department of Chemical Engineering. The main objective of the lab is to contribute to the creation of sustainable solutions in the field of energy transition and development policy at the local and the regional level. The research priorities of our laboratory is energy development and just transition policies, governance of energy transition, strategies for climate neutrality, development of energy planning, cross-border cooperation in energy transition matters, European policies for green energy development, scientific monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. So we are working currently on a project called Just Transition Observatory, systematic consultation and scientific support for energy transition issues. Next, I'm going to present you some undergraduate and postgraduate study programs. We chose those that are majorly connected to the just transition processes. The undergraduate program of Economics and Sustainable Development, it's held by the Department of Economics, the Department of Chemical Engineering, and the Department of Mathematics. It's a new program starting this year. It's an English program located in the city of Kastoria. And the subject of the study includes economic development, circular economy, environmental economy, and the use of environmentally friendly technologies to achieve economic growth and progress. The postgraduate programs, some of the postgraduate programs, two of them are aiming at hydrogen. Hydrogen is an important technology for our region. The Western Macedonia's pipeline will be the first high-pressure transmission pipeline certified to transport 100% hydrogen. We call it a hydrogen-ready pipeline. It's part of the European hydrogen backbone. So we have two postgraduate programs on hydrogen. One is called Hydrogen Science and Technology, and the other one is Management and Transportation of Oil, Gas, and Hydrogen. Of course, we have many programs about renewable energy, and one that refers to green leadership, organizational culture, and sustainable innovative entrepreneurship. And of course, one about modern electricity distribution networks. And in the last slide, I prepared a table with a short description about its program and the departments that hold these programs. I'm not going to read all this to you. It's just extra information. So, any questions? I'm here to ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Konstantina. Maybe we're going to give the floor to Oshka first, and then we're going to open the floor for the open discussion, if that's fine.
We are from Slovenia. Saša region is Savinja-Šalek region. It has 10 municipalities and 62,000 inhabitants. Next slide, please. It's located, in Slovenia. It's very small, but also 10 municipalities. Next slide. Yeah. A regional statistic compared to Slovenia, the Saša region have some specific economic structure with predominant of manufacturing industry and important energetic sector. So 1/3 of Slovenian electricity production is based on coal, and it is in the region, in Savinja-Šalek region. So it is important factor of stable supply in Slovenia, in whole Slovenia. So coal mining activities employees are now 473 employees are in coal mining by statistical, but depend on this mining sector, it's much more higher number of employees, so 5,000 approximately. And also we have economic entities around, this is the last statistical data, 2,632 economic entities, most of it are SMEs, and has 80,000 employees. Next slide, please. Why is that important? Because we are closing now coal industry, which is and also depend industry on coal industry, and to go to diversification of green local economy, so from the coal to the greener future, to carbon neutral society, phasing out the coal we have by 2033. Next slide, please. So we have this strategic documents. We formed it in 2020 when this period 2021-2027 began. This is our territorial development program. It has 5 strategic objectives. It is compared to on national level, and compared to European level, it's the same. So almost the same. So except for the last one. The framework is, like smarter and more sustainable Saša region, and then low carbon and greener and more connected. We we make this together, these two main objectives of the European Union, and more social region with sustainable and integrated development, and the important one, Sasha region, Sasha in just transition. So Sasha region in just transition, Savinja-Šalek region. This is also where in the same time of the national level. On the national level, we have this, besides of these main objectives of European Union, specific objectives, Europe for Just Transition on national level for in this program for European cohesion policy. So we have also these specific objectives, Europe for Just Transition. Next slide, please. What shall we do in our region? Xena was huge part of this, also where we were programming this period in 2020. We began. So we have the main document. It's this territorial development program of Savinja-Šalek region. This is the main. And then a national level take the justification of this our thematic main of our strategic objective, and made a national strategy for phasing out the coal, and also make the territorial just transition plan. It's a special priority, and of course the money. The Just Transition Fund, from Just Transition Fund. Next slide, please. What is in this objective? In this low carbon region, a greener and more connected region, it's like we have development priorities, and this development priorities to upgrade such an instrument like we have in application form written down. Xena was creating this strategic objective also in the group of experts. So we have energy efficiency, energy self-sufficiency by promoting renewable energy sources and so on. So what is interesting for us, for our development in this within this commit project for SMEs, because of diversification, we need to implement in next period to have successful just transition. So next slide, please. For our point of view, we will, within this commit project, upgrade the development priorities like energy efficiency, energy self-sufficiency by promoting renewable energy sources, transition to circular economy, and sustainable mobility. So as we also written down in application form as well. So the framework of this, our main document, is like this. Next slide, please. Yeah, we have in this first strategic objective written down this main some policy objectives, and the goal is of the area of overlap with the area of just transition, which is aimed at restructuring the coal industry due to closure of the mine and in direction of goal to low carbon society. This is our goal. Next slide, please. In this strategic objective. So what is interesting at the SMEs level, it's energy efficiency, measure to improve energy efficiency in the economy. We have to build up this indicator, number of companies that have implemented measure for efficient management of resources, including material efficiency. So this could be interesting to upgrade, measure to improve energy efficiency in the economy. Next slide, please. To encourage the economy, and in a development priority such as energy self-sufficiency by promoting renewable energy sources, are measures like encouraging the transition to renewable energy sources and awareness measure. Next slide, please. Encourage investments, of course, and also a measure for development and production of cleaner sources of energy and alternative fuels. So to stimulate the development and production of cleaner sources of energy and alternative fuels. Stimulate also, this is research and development. It's Slovenia, it's RRE, so development and research. Next slide, please. And also in to stimulate the models of circular economy, indicators are like we've written down in these strategic documents, special environmental certificates, models for circular economy in business, awareness campaign, and such. And we made the measures, changes in business process, circular economy awareness, and so on. These are two measures that we can upgrade within this commit project. So next slide, please. And the last development priority, which is interesting for SMEs, is sustainable mobility to within this measure modern technology for mobility management, to start new models, new smart innovative models for mobility management. Next slide, please. These are these measures in strategic objective within the strategic objectives of low carbon region and greener. So the huge synergies we see is with, of course, with the Territorial Just Transition Plan in jurisdiction of on the national level, not in our. We also have technical support, support by providing this as co-management, not a responsibility as a whole of implemented Territorial Just Transition Plan for Sacha coal region. It's like it's grow into national level. It's not our jurisdiction, if you know what I mean, and it's a special national document, and our ministry for cohesion policy is responsible for implementing. So our task within this territorial development program is also to make some synergies with this Territorial Just Transition Plan for coal region, Sacha. So Sacha in Just Transition and this Territorial Just Transition Plan has strategic objectives also, as we have in territorial development. We call it, before it starts to develop this Just Transition program, we call it specific priority, development priorities. So they rename it on the national level, and we have just energy transition of Sacha region. The second one is job and skills for all. The third is sustainable, flexible, and diverse economic development, which is the most interesting for us, and to upgrade measures with this our low carbon region strategic objective, and the last one is gradual rehabilitation and revitalization of degradation in our region from the coal. So next slide, please. As we see in this slide, the complementary must be upgraded here within two main strategic documents for better transition to green transition and also just transition. So we have our territorial program in Saša region and also on the national level, which is according to priorities of just transition. So what is interesting for SMEs and for us to upgrade, to make some synergies, it's that strategic objective of sustainable, flexible, and diverse economic development. It's like here are some measures, or these are more results. And we also have a process of making the law of reconstructing, structuring the development structuring for Saša region on national level. So it can be here challenging to make some synergies and upgrade our program to increase productivity and make more support for diversification of local economy, and of course make new jobs. This is for all from my side. I hope it was helpful for your as our practice in our region. We have some complicated a little bit. Some is on national level jurisdiction, and some of documents are on regional level jurisdiction to implement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jožka. Thank you. Thank you everyone for the presentation and for joining the workshop. Yeah, I think we all learn a lot from the different presentations, and I wish you all a very nice day, and looking forward to seeing you all in the problem solving workshop potentially.